Elsewhere in the Donetsk region, residents in the city of Sloviansk have been relieving their terror after Russian missile strikes left at least 3 people dead. Donetsk Governor Pavlo Kyrylenko said that a school and at least 7 multi-story buildings were damaged. Sloviansk was briefly taken over by Moscow-backed separatists in 2014. Now it is once more in Moscow's sights as part of its efforts to seize the entire Donetsk and neighboring Luhansk region, which together make up the Donbass.
At about 1:30 am, I woke up as if there was a wave that threw me out of the bed. I saw some flashes, then the glass shattered. A man died on the 3rd floor. All the apartment is covered in blood. All the entrance is covered in blood. A woman died near the entrance on the 1st floor. It happened right in front of us, this explosion. It's a nightmare. I am Russian by nationality. I have my roots in Russia. I feel okay with normal Russians. I don't feel okay with those who come here. I went to Donetsk People's Republic. My daughter lives there. Turns out that my son-in-law comes here to kill me. Think again, stop this bloodshed. We cannot bear it anymore. What else do I want? I hurts. I'm crying. I worry. But what can I do? Nothing. If I cried, would somebody come and help me with something? I don't know. We cannot do anything ourselves. We are old people.
Arise Chief Correspondent John Cookson joins us now from London for more. John, thanks so much for joining us on Newsday. The U.S. is sending new rocket systems to Ukraine. Will this make a difference?
Potentially, it's a game changer on the battlefield. The Ukrainians have been struggling with rocket systems created first in the 1960s and developed since then. The Russians have much better rockets to fire into Ukraine, and these new rocket launchers, which are the trucks with a launcher on them, can fire 6 rockets at a time, and are known as HIMARS. They're far more accurate. They have a range of about, as you said earlier, of about 75 kilometers, something like that. And they're much more precise. In other words, that the Ukrainians can actually be very specific in their targeting. So on the battlefield, it could make quite a difference. It does something else too. The Ukrainians are position of weakness at the moment, in the sense that the Russians have been making great progress in the Donbass region. And it's thought that if there are peace talks in the pipeline some time in the days and weeks ahead, the Ukrainians need to be in a better position of strength. So better prowess on the battlefield will give them a better position at the negotiating table. It's also significant that the Germans are offering a new rocket system to the Ukrainians. The Germans already have supplied 15 million rounds of ammunition, 100,000 hand grenades, and 5,000 tank mines. So the build-up of military might by the Ukrainians is huge. But still, it doesn't match the firepower that Russia has at the moment. So these new rocket systems will create a new phase in this war. Hopefully, will give the Ukrainians a better position at the negotiating table too.
And what is the significance of Joe Biden saying the U.S. is not trying to oust Vladimir Putin?
Yeah, it's very significant indeed, because you'll remember that back in March, in an off-the-cuff remark that Biden made during a speech, he said about Putin, for God's name, this man cannot remain in power. Now, that raised a lot of eyebrows throughout the world, because presidents just don't say that as a matter of course. They might think that kind of thing, but they wouldn't say it in a public arena. So this op-ed that he's written in the New York Times kind of resets the balance a little bit. And he says that the US isn't seeking Putin's ouster. Now, it may be being a little economical with the truth there. I'm sure, given the choice of Putin in power and not in power, the US would want him not in power. But Biden kind of setting the record straight. What I'm sensing is that there may be peace talks around the corner, and this is setting the scene for better relations between Washington and Moscow, which sank to an all-time low after that remark that Biden made about Putin being chucked out of office back in March.
Now, John, there are reports that Russia is on the brink of recession. What impact will that have on this conflict?
Yes, $300 billion. They've taken a hit to the Russian economy. Russian gross domestic product is down by 15%. I have to say that nations like the US and the UK are also facing recession. It's not certain yet, but certainly it's on the horizon, as it were. But look, a weakened Russia economically will affect the way that they conduct the war, because spending money on weaponry is a huge toll on the Russian economy at the moment. So it will impact on the war effort, I'm sure, as will the ban on most oil imports from Russia that the European Union passed yesterday.
And what is the latest from the front line in Ukraine?
Well, the focus of Russian attention at the moment is Severodonetsk. They've been pounding this city for 8 or 9 days now. Every day that goes by, the Russians get close to actually taking control of the city. Earlier this week, they were on the outskirts. Yesterday, they said they were controlling 70%. Today, it looks like the Russians have secured about 90% of the city. At least 1,500 civilians have died in this round of fighting for control of the city. 13,000 civilians are currently sheltering in underground bunkers and car parks in the city. And one can only imagine the terror that they're feeling at the moment as this city continues to be pounded by Russian artillery. It's only a matter of time, though, before Russia actually takes over the city, probably by the end of this week.
Well, all right, Chief Correspondent John Cookson, thank you so much for joining us on Newsday.